Free Arrow's video entitled "Who's Actually at Fault for the Refugee Crisis" is more focused on the semantic of whether Merkel officially invited the refugees, rather than the refugee crisis in Germany.
When talking about the European migrant crisis, there's one thing that seems to be at the center of the discussion. Especially when the question on who's actually to blame for the negative consequences of this geopolitical crisis. I'm talking about the notion that Angela Merkel and by extension Germany invited the huge number of asylum seekers that came to Europe in 2015 and 2016.
Merkel didn't invite the refugees, but she has let over 1 million of them into Germany, which has led to a rise in murder, rape and theft. If it wasn't for Merkel letting in Ali Bashar, 14-year-old girl Susanna Feldman would still be alive. By letting in people who show up at your border, you risk the safety of your citizens.
I don't think anyone would disagree that an economically strong country like Germany was better suited to take in the refugees moving along the Balkan route than a country like Serbia or Macedonia.
Yeah, better suited to give out money and resources to foreigners who show up at your border.
And for the people cheering at the central station in Munich when the refugees arrived, I really don't see the problem with this.
It's what they're cheering in that's the problem. If it was women and children, I could understand that, but it's not. It's young, coward men they're cheering in. What have they done to deserve cheering?
Even if you are opposed to taking refugees in, at that point in time, Germany only gained benefits from giving these people such a warm welcome. People who feel safe and welcome in a society are less likely to segregate and have an easier time navigating inside that society, which leads to less crime committed by those groups and overall less social tension.
Cheering in refugees is good because it makes them less rapey. Fucking hell. Germans sound like battered wives.
There's a very clear reason that someone like Black Pigeon Speaks only shows you images and clips like this. Look at these hordes invading our civilized world.
Because those pictures represent the majority of refugees coming to Germany.
And why he's never picking images like this.
These pictures don't represent the majority of refugees coming to Germany. Secondly, what the fuck is this guy doing pushing a child through razor wire fence? What a horrible parent.
Firstly, seeing an image like this is more likely to make you sad than angry or afraid, and that's an emotion which doesn't lend itself good to selling you something.
The dead child on the beach seemed to work.
The picture of Alan Kurdi, who you may know as the dead Syrian boy lying on the beach, went around the world. Western European leaders were under extreme pressure to find a solution to this humanitarian crisis. Secondly, it's easier to antagonize the refugees coming to Europe to an audience if you dehumanize them. This is why the framing of this crisis so often revolves around an invading army. While it's undeniable that extremists hid in the broader groups coming to Europe, this was only possible because most of them are regular people like you and me.
They want a better life, but they're not willing to fight for it. Free Arrows, if your revolution started tomorrow, would you not fight for it? Or would you run away? Okay, let's make this more personal. If Hitler came back tomorrow, would you not fight against him? Or would you run away like a coward? Or maybe just follow orders like your ancestors did? Throughout this video, there's a narrative of Merkel had no choice but to risk German safety and way of life. But in my opinion, she did have a choice. She could have worked with the rest of Europe to deport most of these refugees to the country they made. I do agree with Free Arrows on the last bit of his video. Sargon did shit the bed on saying Merkel was solely responsible. And we should listen to different voices and not just the same fucking little echo chamber that's on YouTube. I recommend you watch the original video. I think I did a good job at giving my little retort. Unlimited Breakfast is my YouTube name. Just call me Kelso. It's close enough to my real name, and that is my nickname in real life. So Kelso or Unlimited Breakfast. And that reference is to something you'll never know. So yeah, I'll be uploading more videos, hopefully, doing retorts on popular SJW content. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Peace the fuck out.